Good morning people, hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India Darshan travel series. So right now I'm in Chhindwara and today the plan is to do a 160 odd kilometers round trip to the hill station nearby of Tamia and also check out the treks in Patalkot. But there's a railway crossing next to the hotel right here. So we were just standing in a corner and one of the locals mentioned to go there and climb up over there on the flyover because this is gonna take a while. So let's do that instead of waiting here for the train to pass, because right across the street in that direction 400 meters or so is the railway station. Also, because it's a Sunday today, note how empty the streets are. They weren't like this when I got here. Even yesterday night was very crowded and active. There is a nice park here. Some kids are playing in there. There are a bunch of temples all around. There's also a Gurdwara up front. So since it's a railway station area, last night I found a nice budget-friendly eatery and had a thali just for 130 rupees. Unlimited refill. That's an epic deal. This is the Gurdwara Sahib. Not a very massive Gurdwara, but still it's very peaceful. And then there is already the railway station along with the temple if you want to visit that. But we are gonna take a U-turn and go up this flyover. Also, now that the jackets are off, I'm starting to tan like crazy. Look at this. This is the natural color. Look at this. This is a tanned color, like 3 different shades of brown. But yes, this area is not just hot, but the UV index is also very high. So it actually burns, and this is like immediately starting to burn in like 2 days. This is the result. But at least I'm getting a lot of vitamin D, so I'll take it. Just a word of caution, if you're driving in this area though, I found this city is like very chaotic in terms of zero traffic sense. So people drive like serpentine and they don't follow the red lights and stuff, especially the locals. So if you're from a different state or an outsider, like a foreigner trying to roam around this area, just be very mindful and be vigilant when you're on the road. So you have a couple of options in terms of hill stations. So Patalkot is 78 kilometers, Tamia is 56, and Pachmani also is a nice hill station for nature lovers, which is just 137. So you have 3 options all in the same direction. You can pick whichever makes the most sense for you. So we are gonna do the middle 2. First one is a rest house anyway. So of the 3 we are gonna be doing 2. Pachmani is already done, so for me I'll be 3 on 3 now. Okay, so got to this point and I met a nice friendly mechanic over there because Google is going bonkers in this area. So this basically is the Bhopal Pachmani bypass. So you have to go this way, and before there's a railway track and there used to be a crossing over there. So Google still shows you that, but that doesn't exist anymore. So he explained very nicely that you take this, you go to Tamia, which is the farthest point. There's a rest house there, you eat there, you go down, there is a Shiva temple in the valley, go check that out. Then you come back to Patalkot, and from there you can have a nice view of the valley. And he says Patalkot has nothing to eat in that sense, so just in the Tamia there's a nice rest house, go there, eat there, have all your refreshments, and only then come back to Patalkot, and after Patalkot you can go back. So it's now a very crystal clear itinerary that this local mechanic helped me plan. So that's pretty cool. Let's get going. So the guy explained the directions very nicely. Google picked up the directions again, and we are 27 kilometers from Tamia. Lot of bamboo plantations all around, and this is starting to give more like a hill station kind of vibes, minus all the plastic that's lying around. But I guess that comes with the view. Let's take a rest break, couple of selfies, and then we'll continue the ride further. It's just 27 kilometers from here. Okay, so there is a Tamia viewpoint up ahead, and then there is the Chota Mahadev trek, which is this way. So let's figure out a way to park first, and then we'll explore. This is the rest house where the guy mentioned that eat there before you come back to Patalkot. Okay, that's cool. So met fellow tourists in this area, and they said you can go further down where the board sign was pointing, and you will find a resort as a landmark. Next to the resort you will find the trek starting point, so there's no point parking right here and walking all the way over there. We'll park there, do the trek, and come back here for lunch afterwards. So finally found the trek starting point and met some locals at the entrance, and they said it's just a couple of steps that you climb, but it's mostly downhill. So it's kind of like the one we did in Kota in Geparnath. It's the same. You get to the at some point along the trek it feels like you're going uphill, and then suddenly it's a lot downhill. And I asked him how long is a typical trek, and he says it takes about 1.5 hours or so. Depends on your fitness, because going downhill is very fast. Coming back uphill is where the real struggle is. So I'll start my watch to start tracking this cardio. So at the end of the trek we'll know how long it takes. Right now it's 11:26 and I'll start tracking. It's so peaceful out here. There is nobody, just me for the moment at least. I don't see anybody around. Very cool breeze, very warm sun, and a lot of nature. Loving the vibes. Perfect Sunday. Perhaps that was the viewpoint that the board side mentioned, but I mean, this is also a good view from here. The entire valley is visible from here as well. This is nice. They have these kind of hutments as rest stops as well. But one thing I was noticing was the stairs. You don't want to come here in sneakers. There's a lot of dust and dead leaves. Especially if there is some water over here, this will become very slippery. So you need proper trekking boots. So since I was prepared already for this, I don't have any issues. I'm well geared up. But just a word of caution, so be mindful of that. Normally in treks like these that are in the middle of a forest or sometimes mountains, since we are up in a hilly area, you end up finding a friendly mountain dog that accompanies you even without asking, and I've had that in a lot of treks before. But here there is none. There's absolutely no sign of life other than me talking and enjoying the views. That's pretty much it. But it's just peaceful, so you're away from the hustle, bustle, crowd, chaos. It's a good relaxing vibe, kind of like a vacation where you want to unwind. So No, I turned off my cell network, I turned off everything. It's like just full digital detox and just enjoying the nature. And this is precisely why I said hiking boots, because you have water crossing and sludge and slippery surfaces and whatnot to take care of. So when you're in nature, you have to be prepared for literally everything. Starting to hear lots of birds chirping and the sound of waterfall from down there. So I guess we are very close to the temple, or at least one part of the waterfall. Nope, false alarm, but still a mini waterfall over there, a waterfall over there, waterfall over there, lots of nature. So this time we have officially made it. This is the official waterfall, and that's the Chota Mahadev temple right there. So no more false alarms. And it just took us 25 minutes and 750 meters to get here. And it's a pretty pleasant weather because of all the dense forest cover. So I think the main part, as the guy said, would be to climb back up. So going down was relatively easy. Might be something down there as well. There are flags. Don't know if it's the residence of the priest or something else. Let's go check it out this way. Nothing much here. This shelter is closed. There's flowing water there, and I think that's the pumping station for the water. So that's pretty much it. There was a temple up in the cave, and that's about it. So it's 12 noon, and now I'm gonna start counting the number of steps we have to climb to get all the way to the top. Let's see how many we end up finding. So up until this hut on the way up can keep an approximation of 200 steps, because there's also some plains that you will cover and then stairs. So this is just a, think of this like a midway point. I think after this we have done 1.34 kilometers of trekking in 45 minutes, and it's just 12:20 at the moment. So not a very intense trek, but you take nice and easy, and if the wind is cool like it is right now, it's a very enjoyable moment. So I'm going like super ultra slow, taking in the breeze, enjoying the views. So made it back to the trek starting point. Let's do a trek tally. So it's about 2 kilometer long trek, took me 1 hour 5 minutes with ample breaks, and there are about 700 to 750 steps that you can keep one way. So make it like 1500 or so steps round trip, and this 2 kilometer is a round trip distance. So not a very intense or very long trek, especially after I've done Geparnath trek here in Kota. That was much deeper and need to climb a lot more, but this was nice. Now it's 12:40. I'm gonna go back to the rest house, grab a bite to eat, and then we'll be on to Patalkot after that. I thought there was something to eat in here, but this seems more like a government office of sorts. There's also a government official's car here, but up in the front there are some tent houses and I see fire going. Maybe that's the food place. So finally found something to eat. So that roti is a multigrain roti of sorts on the wood fire. It's 20 rupees for a roti, and on the side you get Baigan Bharta and some chutneys to go with it, all included in the price. So you just pay for the roti, you get the condiments for free. So that's a nice place. We have seating as well. You can enjoy the dinner, lunch with a view. Okay, so Patalkot is 22 kilometers from here this way, and the mechanic mentioned you have to get to some village with the name starting with B, and then you will find a route to go to Patalkot. So let's get going. It's 1 PM. We've almost clocked 1400 kilometers on the right to south so far. Last checkpoint for the day. So we are 56 kilometers away from Chhindwara and 180 kilometers from Nagpur, which is where I'm going next in the next episode. And there are also some places to check out here, but they are a bit too far away, so let's keep going this way. This is pretty much the village of Tamia, where you're gonna see some sort of signs of life. And I'm seeing a couple of small homestays, 1 or 2 hotels, some resorts, and that's about it. So the resources are very sparse out here because this is a village at the end of the day. And you can come and stay here, but I don't know what you're gonna do during your stay once you're done with the treks and stuff that I did today. But it's your call. Just be mindful that it's very, very limited resources out here. This seems like a proper accommodation. It's MP Tourism's Motel Tamia. So if you really want to go off the grid and stay somewhere, this is still a better accommodation. Could be pricey. I don't know. I haven't asked for prices because I'm not staying here. But at least this looks like a proper accommodation with park area and greenery. So made it to the final stop for the day, Patalkot Zero Point. This is giving a whole lot of Lonavala-like vibes. So there's a viewpoint of the valley from there. I don't think you can go all the way down to Patalkot, and there's nothing to do there anyways. But we're gonna enjoy the views from here, and then it's just 2 p.m. so I have plenty of time here, and after that have to just return to the hotel anyways. I do see a small road going down there to the village of Patalkot, but the mechanic and locals mentioned that there's nothing much to do there. It's just probably a tribal museum and just 18 hutments of tribal communities, a very sparse civilization down there, which I can see from here too. So I'm just gonna stay here and not bother going further deep down. There are also some tribal people here selling some herbal plants from the region. Let's go chat one up and see what they're selling. So the same roti that I had in Tamia, Didi is making here as well, and she comes from the village that I was showing you down there. And she's mentioning there is a river to check that out, and there's a cave and a Bholenath temple, and she goes up and down daily because that's how she earns her living right here, by selling the same food that we just ate in Tamia. So she said next time if you're here and if you're hungry, you can have it here too. So most of it was right, what I learned from the locals. Like along the way there was nothing, but here there's like 1 or 2 people selling the roti sabji here as well, so that's an alternative option. She's very friendly and very chatty, and she was thinking because I travel solo I would be completely bored and not enjoying this place, but I explained to her this is completely the opposite. I have the entire freedom in the world to stay as long as I want, go wherever I want, and chat with her as well, because if there were like 5-6 people in a group, everybody would be wanting to do something completely different and we'll all be in a rush. But she said like if you were able to go down there, it would look a whole lot different. From here it might not look like much, but actually it does look quite a lot beautiful from here as well. And she mentioned there are some stairs there and possibly a viewpoint over there, so you can take the view of the village from there. So I'm gonna go there, wrap up this vlog, and then go back there and chat with her and learn more about the life in the village. Oh, she's mentioning this trek. You can go down, climb that hill and take the view from there and then come back up. I just got done trekking, so I'm not going to do this, but there's another trek in Patalkot if you want to do. It's like this trek over to that hill and then back. Anyways, I'm just gonna take in the views, chat up with the locals and enjoy while I'm still here, and then return back to the hotel. And in the next vlog, as I said, we'll be moving on to Nagpur. So until then, this is the Rustic Wanderer signing off. See you again the next time.